Good morning, people, and welcome back to my channel. It's China Doll here. So it feels weird because I got up at 6 a.m. Hawaii time, which is about 12 p.m. Orlando time. So it's just weird it being morning and it's afternoon where I live, but I gain more time being here. This is the outfit of the day I'm wearing, but for breakfast at the hotel they have this complimentary breakfast from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. at this place called Voyager 47, which is on the same floor where my room is. So it's just on the hall. So we're gonna go head over there for breakfast right now, and then after that we're gonna head to this coffee tour that I really wanted to go check out. So the Voyager 47, it should be 2419. I think that's the room number. But we're about to head in right now, and they do give you like this little gift tote bag. So there it is. This is the entrance, 2419, and you just tell them your room number when you check in. When you come in, hello, good morning. And then this is where you can get all the different kind of foods from. So they have oatmeal, and then they got yogurt. They have whole fruits. What else do they have? I don't even have rice. Breakfast potatoes and eggs, some sausage and bacon, and all the condiments. And then over here is like all the bagels, bread, muffins, and so on. And then you can get all the coffee and juices on this section over here. And then let's see what this little stuff is. And then they have quiche. And the cool thing is, it's not just indoor seating. You can sit outside with a view of the ocean, which of course that's where I'm gonna go. Alright guys, so this is breakfast with a view. Look, our seats while we're having breakfast. And the cool thing is, they have one of my favorite juices, because every time I'm at the Polynesian, I always get the pog juice. And they have pog juice here, so this is guava, pineapple, and orange juice. And this is my breakfast that I'm having, and yeah, everything looks really good. There goes a boat. A bird just flew by, but yeah, there's a boat going out in the ocean. Yeah, this is so cool. Alright guys, so we finished having breakfast, and I'm surprised how nice the complimentary breakfast that they had, because you know most hotels it's just like a basic bagel or a muffin or something like that, but they had potatoes and sausages and eggs and oatmeal and fresh fruits and the coffee and of course the pog juice, which is my favorite. But now we are heading to go to the coffee tour that I want to go check out. It's not too far from here, maybe like 15 minutes. So we're gonna go jump in the car and head over there and see what this tour is about. So we're almost to the coffee tour place. We got about 5 more minutes, but I just wanted to film this one road we're on, because like we're like the only one on it right now. There's like no cars. We're surrounded. Well, I talked too soon. There goes one pulling up. But it's not a lot of cars, I should say. And surrounded by trees on both sides. We're up basically on the mountains, because if you look to your right, you can see how high we're gonna be up here. And yeah, I'm excited. It's our first time going here, so I don't know what to expect. I mean, obviously it's a coffee tour, so we're gonna be seeing lots of different coffees and the beans and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully the rain doesn't come down too hard, because it's a little cloudy. It was drizzling earlier. But so we have reached, and to park, we found a parking spot. We were lucky to find one there, because past the cones you're not allowed to park, and it's starting to drizzle. But at least the weather is cooler out, you know. I just hope it doesn't start pouring, because I don't want to mess up this camera. But I'm excited to go check it out.
So down to our coffee farm, so you can see the trees, and then out to a beautiful scenic point. It also has a couple of walk tours.
So here we are, ready to ride.
Walk, it's $10 per group. Just fill out the waiver on the picnic table.
We have the next tour is at 10:30, which is in 5 minutes. So this is exciting. We get to join the next one just in time. And then she said in here they have some free coffee samples. So let's go check it out inside the store.
They have a cat.
And the tour is about every 30 minutes, just like the sign says. These are the free samples you can get. They have the American roast, Vienna roast, French toast, and the black and tan. And inside the store, they have a little bit of stuff you can purchase, like for souvenirs. They got postcards and magnets. And then on this side, you can actually get the bags, the small regular shopper bags. And then there's some more of the bags you can buy. 8 ounces, $31.90, 16 is for $52.90. And then these are the different flavors that they have over here. And then on this side they have like some shirts if you want to get any. And let's see, yeah, it's basically like the same stuff on the other shelf that I just showed you. And then if you want some fruit jellies, they have some exotic fruit jellies over here, and some travel mugs on the top. Those are for $27.90.
We're currently sitting in a cloud forest, so it's like a rainforest, but instead of consistent rain, we have consistent cloud cover, which the coffee trees love. It means we don't have to have an irrigation system, so we save on a lot of money, which is wonderful. So you are currently in the Kona Coffee Belt. Kona Coffee Belt is only about 2 miles wide, 28 miles long, so pretty strict definition of what you can call Kona coffee. If you're outside of that range, you cannot call yourself Kona coffee. You are just Hawaiian coffee, which is still really good coffee. We're better. So here we produce 7 acres of organic coffee. So that's definitely not enough to actually supply everybody with the mountain thunder that they need. So we use the farms in this Kona coffee area. There are close to 800. Pre-COVID there was more than 800, but we're still trying to get a final count. Out of that 800, only 20 have processing plants. So the ones that don't have processing plants have to sell their cherry to the places that have the mills that can deal with them. So we're one of those, or one of the bigger ones too. So out of that 800 and the 20 that can process, we use cherry from about 75 to 76 farms, and we are very strict with our standards. So we have to make sure that they are in the right place, that their entire farm that we're getting the cherry from is in that Kona coffee zone, and then we do multiple quality checks as we process through our mills to make sure they're meeting our standard. So we are currently in the picking season. The off season right now is the flower season. That's between February and May. This is what the flowers look like. They are part of the gardenia family. And the actual coffee tree is part of the jasmine family. This is one of our coffee trees. This is the Arabica, Kona typica. You can kind of see some of the green beans on here. So during the flowering season, we call it our Kona snow season. Our flowers are actually self-pollinating, which is extremely useful for us. We don't have to make sure we have pollinators or to hand pollinate. Every flower that you see does get turned into a red cherry. So in the picking season, which is generally between July and January, it's a pretty long picking season, but it can vary depending on our weather. Even though we're in Hawaii and on the equator, we do have some fluctuating weather. Last year was a little bit different. This year is pretty normal with starting in July. So that long picking season lasts 6 to 7 months. We do hand pick coffee in Kona. Every Kona coffee farm does hand picking for multiple reasons. The biggest one is quality. So because they ripen at various times, as you can see in this picture right here, you have to make sure that you are picking the ripest cherries. Each tree gets visited about every 24 to 48 hours to make sure that we are getting those off. Our experienced pickers pick between 100 and 400 pounds in a day. These are the baskets that they used to use. We have upgraded to a plastic version. So after the coffee is picked, it has to be processed within 24 to 36 hours. So all of the farms that are picking, we get daily deliveries. We process within 24 to 36 to make sure that nothing goes bad. The first step of that process is taking it to our wet mill where we pulp the coffee. So the coffee goes into a float tank. The floaters are defected, either overripe, underripe, or they have a little bit of bug damage that creates a hollow area and some air, which raises it to the top. The sinkers are what gets passed down to the next machine. So in this day and age, we use 2 machines. One pulls off the cherry outside, the other one pulls off the slimy coating on the inside. If you want to feel that, you can feel that slimy, sugary coating that needs to come off. So in the old days, you would soak for 24 hours to make sure that comes off before it goes to the drying deck to prevent any molding or mildew. Kind of feel that sliminess. So today, instead of soaking for 24 hours, we save the time. We use some machines that use both centrifugal force and high water pressure to get that off of the outside. After we have removed both the cherry outer coating and that slimy film, it goes to our drying decks. So our drying decks are lovely because they allow us to harness the power of the sun. We are lucky to have, even though it does rain every day, we generally have enough solar power to dry our beans. Can take anywhere between 7 to 10 days, but all the way up to 21 depending on our weather and our temperature. So in the winter it can take a little bit longer as we're approaching the end of our picking season. If we do get overloaded with our beans, we do have industrial dryers to use. We use dryers that turn about 10 RPMs a minute, 100 degrees so they don't roast, they just dry very slowly. They can dry thousands of pounds at a time. That can really increase our yield, which is convenient because a lot of times we do get big shipments of cherry because we process for 75 to 76 farms. So after the drying stage, it gets turned into what is called parchment. So this is what we're left with after it dries. It's called parchment because there's a little bit of like a parchment paper film on the outside. This can be stored for up to 2 years, which is extremely handy for us because then we can avoid a potential coffee crisis if we have a little bit of a shortage one year if the weather's not so great. It's to avoid that crisis. Wouldn't want to see that happen. All right, I also like to point out at this point that we also have pea berry in the parchment stage. Does anybody know what pea berry is? Okay, so pea berry are our mutant beans. So as you saw when I popped that cherry open, there were 2 coffee beans that kind of sandwich each other inside the cherry. Pea berries are 1 coffee bean per cherry. So it gets twice as much nutrients, twice as much sweetness, twice as much flavor, and a little bit more of the caffeine content. So our pea berries are our best of the best. This is the cream of the crop. However, because they are a natural mutation, they're only about 3 to 5% of any crop. You can't select for it, you can't breed for it, you just get lucky when you find them. It can be as low as 2% as well, which is why it's the more expensive one. It's also the tastiest coffee you can get. So we have it available to buy in our gift shop. We also have it available as chocolate covered coffee beans. They are addictive. Stock up before you leave because we can't ship to the mainland. They melt when they get to California. 7 beans per cup of coffee. Make sure you count because if you wind up eating more than that, you're going to have some energy to run off. I would say only 2 or 3 for the kids or you're going to have them running that hill for you before you leave today.
How do you know which ones those are?
So it's the 1 per, and then we sort, and one of our sorting machines pulls out. We use this in the season that it's not right now, so we do dry mill for half the season, we do wet mill for the other half of the season. The reason for that is we have to wet mill within the 24 to 36 hours of picking, so we do our dry mill during the flowering season. So dry mill starts with our parchment beans. We take these out of storage, they go into our grate in the floor, and then an elevator brings them up and tosses them into our huller. Our huller is like a cheese grater for the coffee beans. Scrapes off the outside parchment layer, allows us to move on to our polisher stage. The polisher uses the power of the beans to rub against each other and remove what's called the silver skin. So after parchment, there's still 1 layer of papery skin on the outside that we need to make sure that we remove. The reason for that is it burns at a lower temperature than the beans. So if it goes into the roaster, you're going to get a burnt flavor, potentially a roasting fire, not great. So this also removes the chaff and the husk. At this stage, we wind up with some compost that we're able to take back to our coffee farms and throw on the plants. Try to be as eco-friendly as possible. We have limited soil here. Every time that the volcano goes off and covers somewhere, we start over with the soil. So we are on a relatively new area. Hawaii hasn't gone off in a while, but our soil is only between a couple hundred and a few hundred years old. We have to have decaying green matter to get to the point where we get soil. Otherwise, we're just sitting on lava rock, which is why it's very important that we reuse as much compost as we can. The coffee cherries and any of the defective beans will also be used for composting as well. So after the polisher, we wind up with our green beans. So our green beans are what wind up getting roasted after they get sorted a couple different ways. So the first way that we sort is with our screener right here. This screener has 7 different screens in it to pull out the larger beans, the smaller beans, and the pea berries. So in the difference between the first 3 screens, you can see there is only a slight difference. It is 1/64th of an inch. That does affect the quality of your coffee. So the bigger the beans, the better. We like to say size does matter with coffee. And then at 2 different points in here, we sort the pea berries with our oval screens. Because those pea berries are a different shape, they get pulled out with a different kind of screen. So after this, you can see we've got big beans and little beans. Quite a bit of difference there. And then you can also see the pea berries, those beautiful little round mutants. You can tell there's quite a bit of difference between those flat-sided ones. Is the next, the biggest beans, but they're the next dense beans. So these are your premium, still fantastic coffee. The third one is the lowest density. These either get thrown through the sorters again to make sure that we pull out any of the ones that it might have missed. Otherwise, these get used for things like our coffee, Kona coffee seasoning, soaps, those type of things. We put them, we give them to our local vendors for our products. Still really good quality coffee, but not quite enough to make it into your cup. So after they are sorted by density, they come over into this hopper right here, and this is where our master roaster does her first quality check. If the quality is not up to her standard, we run them through our sorters again to make sure we're getting out the ones that she doesn't approve of. So after she has approved of these, we need to sort by color. So only a specific hue of green is acceptable. So this color sorter saves us an insane amount of time and labor. I can't imagine how much time it would take for normal people to do what this does in an hour. 2,000 pounds in 1 hour it can sort. So before the color sorting, we have beans that look like this. Variety of green hues. Quite a big difference. If we had to pull them out by our human eyes for the actual green that is the standard, it would take forever, and it probably also would not look quite as uniform as that color sorter gets us. So these are the highest quality green beans, and these are now sorted into either pea berry, private reserve, or premium to go to the roaster to get roasted in multiple different ways. 20 degrees for 15 minutes. Our dark is 16 at 450. So you can see how nice and shiny those beans are compared to the little bit dull of the American. And then after the French roast, dark roast, we've got our espresso roast. This is 460 degrees for 16 and a half minutes, so 30 seconds, 10 degrees more than our dark roast French. The espresso actually has the lowest caffeine content. So the dark one has 95 milligrams per cup. This is 63, but this is if you make it into a 6 to 8 ounce cup of coffee. If you've got an espresso machine, you can get that concentrated and get that caffeine content back up again. Our black and tan is the fourth roast that is available for you guys to try on the sample table. That is a mixture of our lightest and our darkest, so American and French. Gives you that higher caffeine content, but smooths out the flavor with the boldness and the developed flavor. So I highly suggest that you try that roast. It's usually a big seller once people try it because it's kind of like the medium, but it increases that caffeine and increases the developed flavor. So definitely give it a shot if you haven't tried it yet. So after the roasting stage, it goes into our packaging stage. Our packagers make sure that everything is sealed and available to keep fresh for you guys. When the bags are sealed, they last for 1 year. After open, the whole beans last for 6 months. The ground lasts for 3 months, but that is if you're storing it in the right place. So you want it to be even temperature, about room temperature, in the dark, and no humidity. So in the back of your kitchen cabinet is going to be the best spot. The fridge, the freezer is not great because the humidity is going to be increased. It's also too cold. So too hot, too cold, not great. Room temperature, back of the kitchen cabinet. Your beans or your ground will last for even longer. Okay.
Okay, that coffee tour we just did was really interesting. I got to learn a lot of stuff that I didn't know. One of the things that the tour guide said, she said that the darker the beans are, it's not as strong as the lighter one. You would think it would be the opposite way around, but that was an interesting fact. And then she said that it rains there all the time, so it was like we're always in a cloud. So anyways, now we left the coffee place, which was on the top of the mountains, and we're gonna go to this place called Hawaiian ice cones because I really wanted shaved ice. So I found this place on Google Maps is my best friend. Like everywhere we've been stopping at is from Google Maps. So we're gonna go try this place right here for Hawaiian ice cones. Okay, so the shaved ice I had got was 2 different flavors. You're allowed to get up to 3 flavors, but I got the bubblegum and the I forgot. How do I forget what I literally just came out of? Cotton candy and bubblegum. And then Thibaut got the blue Hawaiian, but then inside he has jelly beans. Well, they look really good. This is like a must snack every time I come to Hawaii. They're so good and refreshing. But I really like mine, guys, because it is super sweet. It sounds like in that stupid noise. And like the Nintendo Switch sound. Because I added the condensed milk on top of it. I know it's hard to see. It is delicious. One of my favorite snacks in Hawaii. It's funny how we just came back and it was raining, and then we come back here and the sun's up, like no rain ever happened. So it's like certain parts of Hawaii it's gonna be rainy, and then the other side is sunny. Okay, so when we like on the way back to the hotel, we stopped at the end because we were curious what was back here, because we saw a lot of people going back. But this area is where you can take your boats out and go into the ocean. And I want to show you guys. Look, when I zoom in, you see the color of the water? It is really blue. It's nice. So anyways, now we're gonna head back to the hotel. All right, so for dinner tonight we are going to be heading to this place called L&L Hawaiin BBQ. I found this off Google Maps and the pictures look really good. So we're gonna walk into the restaurant right now and decide what we're going to eat. I kind of have an idea. I'm kind of stuck between two things, like either the pork or like the chicken katsu. But we shall see. So walking in, I'm gonna order and then eat inside. So here we go. About to go in right now. It looks kind of busy, but maybe it will go by quickly. So first time going to this spot, but this is what it looks like on the inside. You order here from the cashier and then stop. So this is what the menu looks like if you get a party tray, and then these are some of the drinks in the cooler, and they'll call you when it's ready. Alright, so this is T-Bo's dish. He got the 3 meats. It comes with like pork, steak, and I don't remember the third one, rice, and then macaroni salad. His dish looks really good. Like, I was thinking of getting that, but I want to try something different and like some local Hawaiian dish. So I'm gonna show you mine in just a second. I had got the kalula pork. It comes with cabbage, rice, and macaroni salad. So, I mean, both dishes look good, but his own actually looks better than mine. It reminds me of that Korean barbecue spot I went to in Orlando. So, the food that I've been having so far has been really good. Like for typical like fast food spot, is like everything on the menu looks really good. I wanted to try a little bit of everything, but I wanted to get like one of the local Hawaiian dishes, and that's one of the porks that they have is one of them. So I wanted to try it, and it was really good. But T-Bo's plate is actually tastier than mine. His meat remind me of the place in Orlando that I went to. You know, the Korean barbecue spot, the 818. It tastes like that, like where you cook the meat for yourself. But that's what it kind of reminds me of. He says that his macaroni salad is, he likes the mayonnaise on top. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, he's just really hungry. We're both actually really hungry, so that's why it's like wasn't really like reviewing the food, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit. But I'm glad I found this place, and I didn't even know this spot was like right around the corner from the hotel. Because like when I landed in the plane, I was looking up food places, and then the first one I saw was by the airport. I didn't know there was one literally around the corner, so that was cool. It's like close. Now it's recording because you hear the beep. So we just got out from eating at the L&L Hawaiin BBQ, and it was our first time going there. T-Bo thought he wasn't really gonna like it at first, but after eating it, he actually loved it so much and said, "I'm glad they don't have one back home because I'll be eating there every day." So
yeah, it was good.
You see, and he's right. Like the sauce or whatever they put on the meat is really sweet. I think that's a Hawaiian sauce. But I'm glad we got to try it. We got to try something new, and it's like on Hawaiian local dishes, because we can't get that back home in Florida. So, and like I always say, when you travel somewhere, you don't want to eat at the same places you have at home, like McDonald's or whatever. You know, you want to try local food. So, no. Anyways, so we're in the parking lot now. I want to show you guys something that is different. So if you look up, the street lights are a yellow shade, but it's not like a normal yellow. It's like a weird yellow tone. And all the street lights are like this, not just one or two. Like literally every street lights all around. Not just in this plaza, but even going up the street where we first came in. So I just wanted to randomly show you that because, like I said, we don't see that back home. thought that was interesting how every single street light's like that. So, but you guys let me know in the comments. Have you guys ever eaten that L&L Hawaiin BBQ, or are you planning to if you ever come to Hawaii? I know this is like a once in a lifetime thing because, you know, we don't, like I said, we don't have it at home, and I don't know when's the next time we're gonna come back, because the last time we went to Hawaii was 4 years ago, but we didn't try the Hawaiian barbecue place then. But we had a lot of good food last trip. We always eat at good, you know, when you with a foodie, that's what happens. You eat good, so. Are you still recording me? I'm just laughing. I'm not even saying anything. You're still recording all the way to the car. You notice that every driving license plate in Hawaii has a rainbow on it? That's their logo, right?
Because that's the Hawaii thing. It's on the driver's license too. It's like the rainbow state or something.
All right, so that's gonna end day 2 in Hawaii. Started off with the complimentary breakfast at the Voyager 47, and that was really good. I'm gonna keep doing that every morning here. Then went to go do the coffee tour, and that was fun. Like I said, I was learning a lot of stuff that I didn't know, some fun facts about the coffee beans and how they make it and stuff like that. And then we had dinner at the L&L Hawaiin BBQ, and that food was really good too. Like, everything has been good so far. I can't complain. So I hope you guys enjoyed day 2 of Hawaii. If you do, give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next adventure. Bye.